Bruce, you must have something really good too.
Of course I do. It's Bruce Danielson, and I guess I'm here to entertain you too.
That we know speaks to so many of us. This is a campaign that has the momentum. And I want to say on a personal level, one of the reasons why I am such a huge Amy Klobuchar fan is, Senator, I remember after my father had his AVM, and Senator Klobuchar had just been elected to the Senate, and my father was still in the hospital at the time. And asking questions to Amy Klobuchar about South Dakota issues, but also Minnesota issues, but like the Lewis and Clark pipeline, like renewable energy. And one of the things that Senator Klobuchar made so clear is that while my father was in the hospital recovering, that she was going to have South Dakota's back. And that has never stopped. Another reason why I'm a big Amy Klobuchar fan is because she can win. This is the first female ever elected to the United States Senate from Minnesota. And when last time she ran, she didn't lose a single congressional district in the state of Minnesota. And it is my honor to introduce, to welcome, the next President of the United States.
All of you. What a great way to usher in the holidays. From here I go home to see my family. But it is so good for us to be with my South Dakota family. I really was not kidding when I said I love South Dakota. So when I was growing up, we took no vacation until I was like in maybe middle school. It did not until even after that, it always involved South Dakota if we went to Wyoming. And I have the diary I kept in first grade. First grade, I was 6 years old on my big trip to the Black Hills and my hike up Myrtle Peak. And I literally, it is so funny because we rented a camper and I describe how Dad pulled out of the driveway and the car went one way and the camper it was fine, and then trying to set up the little dining table in the little camper kitchen and the milk went everywhere. It's a really, really funny report that I have had. But this was our big vacation place. We went here all the time. And then, of course, I got to know, when I got to the Senate, when I was running, I got to know Tom Daschle, who I love so much. When I was first running, I actually came to Minnesota with Paul Wellstone. And by the way, there's a reason I have a green bus. And of course, got to know Tim and Barbara, and just that perseverance of Tim, and the way he loves South Dakota. And it was so fun because I've been, through every small town in Iowa, and you can tell by my voice, 27 counties and 3 days, and to have the most fun smile come on your face when you hear the words Lewis and Clark. But there were so many issues that we worked on together, but most of all, it was their spirit, and we got to hang out, my husband and I did, with them all the time on trips, and it was just an amazing thing. So we hold them in our hearts. So now, we are pretty excited since the debate in Los Angeles. Yeah. The debates that have allowed me to really make my case. I didn't really thought I'd get that moment to bring up Wind Cave. Vincent is there, and you have no idea how funny it was on Twitter. So writing in, what is Wind Cave? And then everybody, it's a national park in South Dakota. And it goes on, and pretty soon I was like, I'm going to get the spelunkers of the country. Like, cave people, this is so great. And then I found out the elevator doesn't work, so I have all these real issues. But the
you need funding.
What we're looking at is the Rapid City about how I mentioned it, and I read it out loud. It was like a Saturday Night Live sketch. But not that it was badly written. It was actually pretty interesting. But it was so funny. It starts with them contacting the National Park Board. Instead of the spokesman saying like, "It's always good to be mentioned," for one, they go, "I cannot comment." Because they're afraid. They are. Okay, so I cannot comment at all. In-cave spokesman. And so then you're the Republican House member. I had never met him. Okay. Yeah, so he does a tweet and he says, "Well, finally, something that Amy Klobuchar and I agree on." I'm like, no! But I guess he meant it to be a compliment. He sends that out, but it doesn't end there. Then the Rapid City story goes on to say, honestly, despite what he said, Senator Klobuchar has worked with the South Dakota delegation quite a bit. We have checked the records, and then they went on Thune's website. This is a true story in the story, and they go, remarkably, they have done bills together that are benefit to South Dakota. It's really nice. And he mentions her positively on his website 100 times. Okay, all right. So that is my little intro to South Dakota. But the truth is, I have always loved campaigning like this, and I think it would be so wonderful to have a president in the White House that actually likes people. Yeah. Get out there with people, which is something I do. Starting this morning at 7 a.m. with like 50 people at a breakfast place. That happened, yeah. And a guy who was 91 that just kept making really interesting comments. Anyway, so I think that's an important thing about me to know about me. And the second thing is that, and I think you've seen this on the debate stage, I truly believe that we must have a candidate that can bring people in and not shut people out. Because we are something really amazing right now. When you look at what just happened in Kentucky, where Mitch McConnell has a Democratic governor, and in Louisiana, where we re-elected a Democratic governor, or in Virginia, where we flipped the state house and senate. And by the way, my favorite part of Kentucky and Louisiana is the night before those two Democratic victories, who went down there to rally for the opponent. My question is, where can we send him next? It's true to build those coalitions, and you know this, and Tim knew this in South Dakota, that you bring people with you. We have a fired up Democratic base, a lot of people in this room, and we all know what happened that day after the inauguration, when millions of people marched across this country. And 9 days later, when they spontaneously showed up at airports when that anti-refugee came out, and they just kept growing. And a day after the march, 6,000 women signed up to run for office. That happened. My favorite march, the March for Science. And my favorite science. When do we want science? When do we want it? After peer review. We're really setting the stage for this election and the 2018 election, when the 48 fighting Democrats stood together from left to the right in our own party, from Bernie to Joe Manchin, and we stood together and we said, no, you are not going to repeal the Affordable Care Act. Today, by the way, and I'm going to give myself a Christmas day off of debating this right now. But when you look at that, remember a few things. Right now, the Affordable Care Act is 10 points more popular than the President of the United States. There are still many issues with health care, and this means to me something Barack Obama wanted to do, the nonprofit public option, which would bring down premiums for everyone. It also means taking on the pharmaceutical industry, something I've done since I got to Washington, and really taking this on so Medicare can negotiate prices, so we can get less expensive drugs from other countries. As you know, in Minnesota, we can see Canada from our porch. Right hospital beds, mental health hospital beds, and taking on addiction and making sure that we're doing something about long-term care, stop relitigating the Affordable Care Act, make it better, and then turn to the big elephant in the room, which is long-term care.
Yeah.
We're going to have a doubling of our senior population in the next few decades. I once called it the silver tsunami, and then AARP told me that was too negative. I called it the silver surge. And there is more we can do to not just keep Medicaid strong. Yes, I'm going to go see my dad tomorrow in assisted living, and I know the exact day that his Medicaid care will kick in when he runs out of money. But what he did do was get long-term care insurance, and we should be making it easier to do that. It is very difficult right now with premiums, and I have a plan with the deadline and how to pay for it, and we can do this, I promise you. But we're not going to be able to take on these challenges in front of us, like healthcare and immigration reform, which, by the way, Senator Rounds actually worked on this with a group, 15 people. It was bipartisan, and we got totally gut punched by the White House. We got totally gut punched in trying to help the Dreamers so that they could stay here. Time and time again they do it. So immigration reform, climate change, which you know, as I point out, the debate is not just a coastal issue. It is also an issue right here in the middle of the country where we see weird weather events and record flooding and wet ground and you name it, and tornadoes. Like, I mean, it just goes on and on and on. We knew this was going to happen, and it's happening now. The challenge of education and make sure that it's more affordable, that we have the money that we have in K through 12, but that we also match those job openings that we know we have with our education system. And that means everything from looking at the community college, that's where my dad went, my sister went, to get a free 1- and 2-year degrees. By the way, just so you know, we're not going to have a shortage of MBAs in this country. We're going to have a shortage of plumbers. We have over 1 million openings that we forecast in the next 10 years for home health care workers. Over 100,000 for nursing assistants. We're going to have 74,000 openings for electricians, 64,000 openings for plumbers. These are jobs we have no plans of how we're going to fill right now. And some of these jobs pay well, some of them don't pay as well. So to me, the answer is make sure that we make it easier for people to get those degrees, easier to get 4-year degrees, and we've got a lot of areas that we're going to need help with 4-year degrees and beyond by doubling the programs, having the money go where it's supposed to go, not go to wealthy families, but having the money go up to families making $100,000 a year. That brings in a lot of people. And then, of course, make it easier to pay back student loans.
Yeah.
But none of this, okay, I was just distracted by the Viking sweatshirt. I want to note that there's a big game tonight. And I hope, what did you just say? So my dad wrote a book when he was writing for the Minneapolis paper. He wrote a bunch of books about the Vikings, including Francis Tarkington's biography. But he once wrote a book in the, I think, late 70s, early 80s, which is still sadly relevant today, called Will the Vikings Ever Win? Okay, so we have these challenges, but here's what we have to do this. One, we need a leader that isn't just going to get in and gloat about the work that the workers and the businesses is to get us out of the downturn. That's what this guy does. Instead, you want to have someone that actually rises to the challenges that I just discussed. That's what you have to have. You want to have a leader that doesn't quit. Someone who doesn't whine. I know a lot of people think of him as a bully. He is a bully. But I'm telling you, when I meet with those carpenters in Pittsburgh and those dairy farmers in Wisconsin and those dock workers in Michigan, and by the way, those states, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, you look at all of the Midwest, what happened, and the hope we've seen when we now have Laura Kelly, a Democratic governor in the state of Kansas, right?
Yeah.
Look at what we've seen. We literally, in this presidential race, are going to build a blue wall, a beautiful blue wall, around Democratic votes around the Midwest, and we're gonna make Donald Trump pay for it. Talk to those people. They don't think he's got their back anymore. They're starting to question it.
Yep.
Because he made all these promises, and he didn't bring down the cost of prescription drugs, and he left them, and they know it, and the farm economy and everything, the trade war, the ethanol waivers that have hit and hurt us with biodiesel and with ethanol, all these things that are literally self-inflicted wounds. They know this. But what does this guy do? He gets in and he gloats about what people in this room did to get us out of the downturn. And then when he has problems, some of them self-inflicted, with the economy, he just blames people.
Yeah.
He blames Barack Obama. He blames the head of the Federal Reserve. He blames the city of Baltimore. He blames the entire country of Denmark. And then when he's at an international conference and people make fun of him, and by the way, I have a different take. I heard senators say worse things about other senators. They do. And they just kind of make fun of him. Ha ha ha. He hears that, and instead of just sloughing it off, making fun of it, making a joke like I did when I was portrayed on Saturday Night Live with my bangs. Instead of just making a joke about it, what does he do? He quits. Yeah. He walks out. He walks out at an international conference. America doesn't quit. So just remember that when you're talking to people you know that may have voted for Donald Trump. We do not need a whiner in the White House, okay? That's the enemy.
We need you, Amy.
Thank you. Bring them with us with an optimistic economic agenda. We bring them with us by calling him out on stuff when it's bad, yes, but not going down every rabbit hole with him. We bring him with us by using some humor. When he made fun of my snow in my head in the middle of that blizzard, which I thought showed South Dakota grit, he made fun of that and made fun of me and called me Snow Woman. I just wrote back, I'd like to see how your hair would fare. Back at him with some humor and take him on. He and I have such different backgrounds. He was given $413 million over his life. That from his own dad, that's how he made his fortunes. Okay. My grandpa, he worked underground, 1,500 feet underground his whole life in the iron ore mine and saved money in a coffee can in the basement to send my dad to college. You can't fit $400 million in a coffee can. That was our family trust. And that was our family trust. And when you are given the gift of opportunity, as we know, so many of us, this is the holiday season, think about that you get from your family. Someone's giving you opportunity, a teacher. Someone's giving you opportunity, a neighbor, someone at work. You do not go through life with a sense of entitlement. You should go through life with a sense of obligation. An obligation to, instead of slamming people down, to lift them up. An obligation for yourself, but to lift people up. That's what this is about. And that really gets me to my last thing. This is an economic check. I went through some of these issues. You all know what they are. But it is also a patriotism check. Hundreds of thousands of people lost their lives fighting for our country, for democracy. Yet this guy, he stands with Vladimir Putin. And when someone asks him about invading our election, he makes a joke about it. Hundreds of thousands of people lost their lives defending democracy. 4 little girls lost their lives at the height of the civil rights movement as innocents in that church in Alabama because people were trying to take the democracy away from them. That has been fundamental to what America is, standing up for our democracy. That's what this impeachment proceeding is really about, right? It's about what James Madison, 5'4" president, James Madison said when he wanted to include those articles of impeachment in there. He said that he was afraid a president would betray the trust of the American people to a foreign power. That's what this is about. And it is a decency check. It is the rancher in Minnesota who told me a few years ago, I voted for Donald Trump, and then I saw him standing in front of that wall. I go, what wall? He said, the CIA wall. That was when the day after the inauguration, he gave that speech in front of the wall with the anonymous stars of the anonymous agents who'd given their life for our country in the line of duty, and he gave a political speech about crowd size. And then the guy said, or the time he said, when he gave that political speech to the Boy Scouts. The guy said, I was a Boy Scout. I couldn't stand what he did. That guy said, I realized then it wasn't patriotic what I did. It was wrong. The guy in New Hampshire was in a line, and everyone has these stickers. They say, I'm a pro-choice voter. I am a climate change voter. I am a Supreme Court voter. This guy comes up, he has no stickers on. And I go, oh, you don't have a sticker. He's a brown jacket. He whispered, that's because it was a Donald Trump voter. And he goes, I'm not doing back the House of Representatives in 2018. That is how, through the past, through times good and bad, when Tim won, when Tom won, I know those were different days in our politics in South Dakota, but there is every reason to believe those days can come back, because this is truly a decency check. I was in Iowa talking about their guy named Joseph Welch, who grew up in a small town in Iowa, Primgar, and he ended up becoming the Army Consul. And remember when Joseph McCarthy had those hearings for some of our more senior members here? I wasn't born then, but for those of people that don't know what it was, this was a Wisconsin congressman who was going after. He was going after people because of their political beliefs, or even when they didn't have those beliefs, he was going after them and claiming they did, and then they couldn't get a job and got blacklisted in any of these big hearings, and hardly anyone would stand up to him. Hardly anyone would do it. Well, one guy did, from a little town, an immigrant kid, and his name was Joseph Welch. And he was this guy from the small town who stood up and said, have you no sense of decency, sir? Have you no sense of decency? This is a decency check. It truly is a decency check. And when you think of the decent people you have given us, like Tim and Tom, like George McGovern, Minnesota Paul Wellstone with his green bus, we have a decent core in the Midwest in our politics. And this is our moment to show it. We have more endorsements of electeds and former electeds than anyone in the race. Prominent state legislators, although my favorite, someone said, well, what if you're at the impeachment hearing? I go, well, I got surrogates. My husband, pretty good. And my daughter, and the governor of Minnesota, the highest ranking Native American elected official in the country, Peggy Flanagan, the lieutenant governor. We got tons of people. But then I also told them I got the mayor of Fertile, Iowa. 300 people. But as you know, in a smaller state, politics can work this way. And when you have people that are willing to go out for you, it makes a difference. So I'm going to end with a little holiday story because I'm going to go see my daughter. She's now 24, but this happened when she was 4. And she was in our church nativity play, and she was to play the angel, and she had this little angel outfit on with these huge wings. We're sitting in the pews, and she won't go out to practice. I'm like, and they're drooping down the wings. I go, why won't you go out there? I want to be the donkey. Jimmy and Joey are the donkeys. You can't be the donkey. Oh, I want to be Mary. I go, Mary is 14. You can't be Mary. I said, I don't understand. You have like the best thing, and the best part, you get to go at the end and spread your wings. And then she looked up to the top of the church, pretty much this high. She looks up and she goes, Mom, I don't know how to tell them. I don't know how to fly. You know what, honey? I said, not all angels fly. And you are the guardian angels for our democracy. This holiday season, when you could be doing a whole lot of other stuff, because you care about our democracy. And you know there are people out there that don't know you're doing this, but need your help. You know there are people out there that this president hurts every single day that need someone to give them the wings to fly. So I want to thank you for being our democracy's guardian angels and my guardian angel. Thank you.
Yes. So, right here at this table, we need a couple things, okay? Is one, we need checks. Please, dig deep.
And we did, by the way, to give you hope that you're not alone. In 24 hours after the debate, in small contributions, we raised $1 million. The other thing
thing is we're not far from caucus time. And as you all know, we got Rock Rapids, we got Sioux City, we're really close.
And we've got some people here that I should
Yes.
introduce.
Oh.
Yeah, State Senator Sandy Jurstad
Right,
is here.
absolutely.
Right over here. Commissioner Jeff Barth is here. Where are you? Right here. Thank you, Jeff, for being here. And the mayor of Laverne, Minnesota. Where are you at? Hey. Now I really feel like I'm at home. So, and then we have former South Dakota Supreme Court Justice Judith. Where are you? Party officials here.
And we have some candidates. Do we have some candidates?
Wait, not a rep. Yeah.
This is a rep, South Dakota. Yep, two state reps.
Say your name, so I don't know. They know you, but I.
Representative Aaron Healy from District 14.
Representative Linda Duba from District 15.
Anyone else that we forgot before Chris?
We've got another candidate here. Do you want to say hello to everyone?
U.S. Senate candidate Dan Allers. I'm very excited. It's been fun. I've been traveling all over the state.
You're going to help us send Mitch McConnell packing?
All right. So let's get some checks. Let's get some volunteers. And we got a Vikings game to win tonight. Claire Hart. Yes, Claire. Do you want to introduce yourself to everyone there too?
Hello,
Yes.
I'm Claire Hart. I'm running for U.S. Senate.
All right. All right.
I have a question.
Okay, wait a minute. If we can do that later, we got.
Yep, we just want to do
I
candidates.
will talk to you when I go outside. We have another community.
All right. Let's give the senator a quick chance to shake some hands and then get out of here for the Vikings game. Thank you, everyone, for being here.
You are great. It would take up to $2,800 a person. Let us know if you want to volunteer. We especially need help down in Iowa. It's a help. Your help right here in South Dakota. Anywhere in Iowa. We'll have someone outside the kitchen.